السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم. ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. Unfortunately, over the past month or so, we've seen much events that have made us pretty stressful. Whether it be the crisis in Myanmar, the increase in Islamophobia, the 3 powerful hurricanes which hit U.S. or U.S. territory, and then most recently the event in Las Vegas. And what happens is, and we all know this, and every one of us feels this, what I'm about to say, even to a small extent. That when these calamities happen, especially when they come after one after another, a question arises in our mind. Why? Where's Allah? Why isn't God doing anything? Right? This is the question that comes to our mind. And the purpose of this khutbah isn't to reprimand those who think that way. And just as a disclaimer, I am talking to a Muslim audience, meaning this khutbah was set up to address Muslims, right, in a spiritual manner. So think of me as talking to your hearts, to your spirituality, to your iman. I am in no way negating the humanitarian efforts that need to be done, nor am I lessening any of the events that happened. Let's put that out there. I am talking to your hearts. I'm talking to your iman. I want your iman to strengthen in light of these scenarios or these events. So the answer to why doesn't Allah do anything, this is very simple, and we'll elaborate on that inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing something, or He did something, and that something is He sent messengers, right? Tens of thousands, in some narrations over 120,000 prophets and messengers were sent to mankind, and various books were sent to them. And the purpose of messengers and books are to be a source of guidance for us. They tell us to do what, in what scenarios, in what situations. That's it. So did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do something? Yeah, He did. He sent us Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and He left with us the Quran, in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam describes, if you hold on to it, you will never go astray again. If you hold on to it, you will find the solutions you are looking for, spiritual solutions you are looking for. So the answer is, we have the solution right in front of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did do something. He fulfilled His promise to Adam alayhi salam when He said that He will send messengers and He will send guidance to mankind. He fulfilled that, and we bear witness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has fulfilled His promise, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did the best job anyone could ever do. And he fulfilled his role as a messenger. So let's open up the Quran and find verses that will help us reconcile with our minds, help us counsel our hearts in these hard times, in these times of chaos and tribulations and death and destruction. I take your attention to verses in Surah Al-Rum. Surah Al-Rum is the 30th chapter, starting off in verse 41. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ظَهَرَ الْفَسَادُ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ لِيُذِيقَهُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي عَمِلُوا لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. Fasad, which means chaos, mischief, right, hardships, have become ظاهر. The word in the Arabic word ظاهر means to be apparent. It's very clear. Not only that, it could be covering other things. So chaos, mischief has become so overwhelming that it's as if it's covering everything else. So you can imagine on a cloudy day, the dark clouds come and it covers what? The sunlight. So chaos and mischief has become so widespread, it's as if that's the status quo. That's what we have, right? In all aspects of earth, in land and in water. Everything, this mischief is encompassing everything. Nothing can escape from it. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, بِمَا كَسَبَتْ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ. It has appeared because of what humans have done themselves. Right? لِيُذِيقَهُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي عَمِلُوا. To have them taste a little bit of what they have done. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to hold us accountable for every small thing, then it wouldn't be so good. But He holds us accountable for a little bit in this life. But what's the wisdom behind it? لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. So that they come back. Right? So imagine this. Imagine someone's in deep sleep. You call their name. Oh, so-and-so. So-and-so. Oh, Muhammad, wake up. Muhammad, wake up. They don't wake up. They're not waking up. What do? You go and give them a little bit of tap. You pinch them. And then they wake up. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing to us. He's pinching us a little bit. So when we ask the question, why is this happening? And we put Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it, that might be the point. Right? Again, I'm talking spiritually. I'm not talking humanity. Yes, we need to take we need to put every possible effort we can in stopping these events and minimizing the damage. But spiritually speaking, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts these in our path to pinch us and wake us up a little bit, so that we ask the question, why? Where's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? Because thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that sense is better than not thinking of Him at all. When things don't happen, when everything is stable and good and dandy and the sun is shining and the earth is green, we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? But when these things come, we start asking, where's Allah? Where's Allah? That might be the point. So don't become all depressed when things like this happen. Rather, understand the wisdom behind it and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not just leave us, as we will get to in the following verses, but rather He's pinching us a little bit to wake us up, to get us moving, to take us back to Him, in which we will find stability and love and peace. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues by saying, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانْظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. Travel the lands, travel this earth, and look at the previous nations, what happened to them. And to put it into common terms today, study history. Right? Study the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, his biography, his life. The Prophet ﷺ did not reach where he reached day and night. Right? He didn't enter a world that was set. He entered a world that was very corrupt. And his people were corrupt. They would circumambulate around the Kaaba naked. Why? Because wearing clothes is a sign that they are purer than they really are. Right? They had these weird theologies. The Kaaba was full of idols. This is where the Prophet ﷺ was sent to. He wasn't sent to a land that was set. Everything is good. Everyone is good. He was sent to a land that was corrupt so that he can fix it. And he did fix it. Right? And it took him 21 years to conquer Mecca. Finally regain it. 21 years. And even after that, Sahaba continued to work. Right? And look at Salah ad-Din. We all always reminisce about the days of Salah ad-Din and his leadership. And if only we had a leader like him. We have leaders that are great. Right? But it didn't take Salah ad-Din day and night to fix the situation he was in. When the Crusaders entered and killed hundreds of thousands of Muslims and Christians as well. Right? They didn't leave Christians alive who were living there, who were native to that land. It was dark times. And they didn't rule for a year or two. They ruled for 93, 92 years, 96 years, I forgot. Over 90 years, the Crusaders were in Jerusalem. And it took Salah ad-Din 23 years to conquer, I believe, I forgot. But his teacher started before him. And his teacher started before him. Meaning the effort was around 50 years for Jerusalem to become stable again. It doesn't happen day and night. Right? And look at the time of Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah. He didn't come to a time where everyone is good and lovely and dandy and the sky is blue. That's not where he went. That's not where he was. He was during a time of the Mongols, which is even worse than the time of the Crusaders. But he was there. And he did his job, amongst other scholars who did their jobs as well. There were times filled with scholars. So look at these times and use it as a way to kind of calm your heart down. Say that, okay, this isn't something strange, but rather these are temporary phases that will eventually lead to what we are looking for, stability, peace, and serenity. Right? So learn from history and know that this isn't anything new. In fact, what we are living today in some aspects is very, very good. Right? The security and the peace we feel here in America, the opportunities in life, right? The quality, the standard of living is very high. So we need to recognize that as well and not only focus on what the media focuses on, the death and destruction, chaos, and we forget all the good efforts, the humanitarian efforts. All right? Focus on those the way you focus on what the news tells you, so that there's balance. You're not only looking at death and destruction, you're also looking at life and help and care and mercy. Look at history and what happened to them, and recognize also that these nations are no longer with us. Rather, they are in the next life, which is the more important life. Right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the following verse, فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ الْقَيِّمِ. Establish yourself. Aqim. Right? We say iqamat as-salah, establish prayer, meaning pray with sincerity. Pray with khushu' for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with humbleness and with attention. Right? Perform every position, posture of prayer the way it's supposed to be performed. Pray the way the Prophet ﷺ prayed. That's establishing prayer. Pray your sunnahs. Right? Pray extra prayer. That's establishing prayer. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Aqim wajhaka lid-din al-qayyim, establish yourself in this religion. Learn about Islam. Learn. Seek knowledge. 30 minutes a day. When you commute to work, put a lecture on. It's not much. But with time, you gain. A mountain could be made out of pebbles. Right? Scholars didn't become scholars day and night. Right? That seems to be the theme of today. It's not day and night. Scholars became scholars by learning every single day, by consistency and persistency and sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So establish yourself in this faith. In this faith, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it, al-qayyim. meaning it's a faith of values and a valuable faith. To be understood both ways. A faith of values and a valuable faith. What it gives you is gold, right? Figuratively speaking, it gives you gold. It gives you something worthwhile. من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا مرد له من الله. Establish yourself on this faith before the day of judgment comes, right? Before it comes. That's the more important day that we seem to forget. If we forget the next life, this life becomes disastrous. It's that simple, right? Imagine yourself not believing in the next life. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all, but you lose a loved one. And now you have to bear the reality, or your reality, that you will never see that individual again. That hurts a lot. The next life is the more important life. And without that life, without being attached to that life, this life becomes depressing. Right? So prepare for that day. And as Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah, says, right? And Hassan al-Basri lived in a time of chaos as well. Al-Hajjaj, we all know the tyrant, Al-Hajjaj, was going around killing scholars. Not just scholars, Sahaba, companions. Right? And they would complain to Hassan al-Basri, we need to do something, we need to do something. So he would calm them down and say, look, one backbiting sin that one of you have on the day of judgment is more chaotic, more stressful than all of what we're seeing today. Look at the wisdom he had, rahimahullah. We cannot forget the next life. If we forget the next life, this life becomes very depressing. Even if you have everything you want. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَنْ كَفَرَ فَعَلَيْهِ كُفْرٌ. Whoever disbelieves, then his disbelief is on them. And this is something important. Don't let the tyrants bring you down. Bring your spirituality down. Don't let them demoralize you. Don't let these bad events bring you down. Don't let it stress you out. What they do, these tyrants, that's on them. You're not responsible for it. And if you continue to look at them and say, why this and why that, although we want to have the efforts to stop, we want the efforts to help our brothers and sisters in Myanmar, but don't let it bring you down as an individual. Don't let it destroy your spirituality. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا فَلِأَنفُسِهِمْ يَمْهَدُونَ. Whoever does good deeds, then they are for themselves making a path. Look at the wording. The people who disbelieve, that's on them. Make yourself your own path. Make for yourself your own path by doing good deeds. And know that when you follow Islam, when you follow the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, you make this path to Allah, to paradise, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with you, helping you on that path. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the hadith, the holy hadith, that whoever comes to me walking, I come to them running, figuratively speaking, right? Whoever strives to me, I come in a quicker manner. So that when you put $1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you 10 back. Right? This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps you. So make that path for yourself. Don't let what's going on around you, the chaos and the mischief, as much as it's hurtful, don't let it bring you down as an individual. Don't let it lessen from your own efforts in doing good. لِيَجْزِيَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Right? And know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for this. He will reward you for the stress that you go through. He will reward you for the care you have for other people. He will reward you for the concern you have for humankind, because that's part of mercy. The Prophet ﷺ was very concerned with his own nation, ummati, ummati, my nation, and with others, non-Muslims. He was concerned, right? When the great hypocrite, the leader of the hypocrites, Abdullah ibn Salul, right? When he passed away, Abdullah ibn Salul tried killing the Prophet. He made mischief in Medina. He caused a lot of harm to the Sahaba. He was one of the people who accused Aisha radiallahu anha for fornication. He was a bad person. He did a lot of harm to the Prophet ﷺ and to the Sahaba. But when he passed away, the Prophet ﷺ went to his grave and started making istighfar for him. Started asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness for this individual. Right? Look at the mercy he had in his heart until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him not to. He said, you can't do that. استغفر لهم أو لا تستغفر لهم إن تستغفر لهم 70 مرة فلن يغفر الله لهم. Right? He says that if you do a lot of istighfar for him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never forgive him. So the Prophet ﷺ stopped. Or else he would have continued. That's the mercy he has. You will get rewarded for that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs our attention to the future, to the near future, and says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَن يُرْسِلَ الرِّيَاحَ مُبَشَّرَاتٍ لِيُذِيقَكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us from His signs, right, that He sends wind. And He describes this wind as mubashirat, as a wind of glad tidings. It's bringing glad tidings. Because when wind comes, what comes with it? Clouds. And what comes with clouds? Rain. Meaning the mercy is there, it's coming. We need to look for it. There are so many humanitarian efforts that never existed before. Muslims are involved with it, and there are non-Muslim efforts as well. But the Muslims are there. There are efforts in doing it. Let's look at those. Let's think of those as signs of glad tidings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the situation now is starting to change. Human rights are at probably the peak, its highest it's ever been in strength. Human rights is something very important. And look at just sitcoms from 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Racism and stereotyping was very, very prominent, very normal. Today that's not allowed. That's a good thing, right? So look for the signs of the glad tidings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like He sends wind before the rain. Right? It's coming. He's telling us. The wind is here, that means rain is coming. It's on its way. Be patient. Right? وَلِيُذِيقَكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. The mercy is coming to you. He's going to make you taste. He's going to have you feel that mercy. It's coming. وَلِتَجْرِيَ الْفُلْكُ بِأَمْرِهِ وَلِتَبْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Right? And He says the ships are floating as well. They're going. And ships mean business, right? Trade. So that's what they used to use ships for. Ships are flowing in the seas. They're going. Right? And you are able to go and find what your needs. Right? You're able to work. You're able to have a job. You're able to make money. You're able to provide for your family. Look at those as well. And that good is always there. Mercy is always there. There is never, nor will there ever be a time where chaos, mischief, evil has fully encompassed this earth. There will always be good. There will always be good. But you as Muslims, we as Muslims need to look for it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Rain revives this earth. Quran revives our hearts. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala followed this verse up by the spiritual revival. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ رُسُلًا إِلَىٰ قَوْمِهِمْ فَجَاءُوهُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنَ الَّذِينَ أَجْرَمُوا. Right? We have sent messengers before. Right? Before you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have sent messengers before. Right? And they came to them with clear signs. So as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revives the earth with rain, He revives our hearts, our spirituality with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with revelation, with the Quran. So the means of change are in front of you. They're there. Humanitarian efforts are there. Leaders who do good are there. The individual revival is there, or the means of individual revival is there. The Quran and Sunnah is there. You have the means to do good. It's about you actually going about doing good. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allahu alladhi yursilu riyah fatuthiru sahaban fayabsutuhu fis sama. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs our attention again to the clouds. And Allah in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directs our attention to the clouds. Because it's something we always see. And it's something that contains mercy, rain. We always hope for rain. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this winter as rainy as last winter. Say Ameen. So He directs our attention to the clouds. And He tells us how He forms it. Right? Clouds start how? Very small. Right? It starts small and it expands. And it expands. And it keeps growing. And it keeps growing. Until it becomes clouds full of rain. Right? And that's how any effort of change starts. It starts small. Don't start big. Right? Don't say, oh, where's Salahuddin? We're waiting for a leader like Salahuddin. We have leaders who are as good as Salahuddin, but for our time. Right? Salahuddin was good for his time. We have leaders like Salahuddin today, in our time, who are relevant to our time. We have, here in America, how many Muslim imams, out there are doing such good work? They are in the field of humanitarian efforts. Right? They are scholars. They are denying or they are talking out against tyranny. Alhamdulillah, we have all these institutions who are doing good. That's how it is. But where were we 40, 50 years ago? We had barely anything, but look how much it's grown over time. And it will continue to grow because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those efforts. So don't let these times bring you down. Be that strong individual who will develop themselves and who will work with others and grow with others. So like the cloud, it grows portion by portion. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends it to the right place. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who dictates where rain is going to fall. And this is one of the 5 things which the knowledge is only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As He mentions in the end of Surah Luqman. وَيُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثِ. Right? He's the only one who has the ability. And He knows where it's going to rain and how much it's going to rain. So you start the effort, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help it grow and He will direct it to the proper places so it could be the most effective. فَإِذَا أَصَابَ بِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. Right? And then this rain will come, it will fall on the people and they become happy. There's the glad tidings, they're happy. The happiness is coming. Right? But look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the following verse. It's very interesting. وَإِنْ كَانُوا مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يُنَزَّلَ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ لَمُبْلِسِينَ. Before the rain came, they were just out of it. Mublisin. The word mublis, iblas, ablasa, means to be pretty much, it's over. There's no hope. That's the feeling of iblas. There's just no more hope. That's what they felt before this rain came. There's no hope. Right? A lot of us feel that today. What's going on in the Muslim world, there's no hope. These leaders are all over the place. Muslims can't get their act together. Islamophobia is on the rise here. And even outside of Islam, humans are no longer humans. They kill each other in cold blood for absolutely no reason. As the Prophet ﷺ told us, Al-Hajj, يُقْتَلُ الْمَرْءُ وَلَا يَدْرِي لِمَا قُتِلَ. Right? The person will be killed in the end of times, and he doesn't know why he was killed. Right? But look what Allah says. Before that rain came, they just gave up. So don't let that feeling demoralize you. Alright? The means are there. We have the spiritual means, the Quran and the Sunnah, to help you, to guide you. We have all the humanitarian efforts to do good. You need to be a part of it. Mercy is coming. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who do good. إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with those who are people of taqwa, right? Who fulfill their obligations and stay away from the forbidden acts. And He is with those who do good. So do good and know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. We have a few announcements. Make dua for Brother Sayyid Ahmed, who is sick. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a speedy recovery. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him for his patience. And make dua for Suraya Zakaria, who passed away. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive this individual and all Muslims, believing females and males. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make her grave a grave of rewards and pleasures. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive her and overlook her sins. Khutbah Academy is now a registered provider with Children's Home Security and CalWorks. If you know of someone who needs financial assistance, please inform them that they can apply to Children's Home Security and ask for Pillars Academy to be their choice of provider for their children. Based on individual needs, CHS will take care of partial or full tuition payment. Any questions, stop by the school and inquire. OCIF's workshop on Muslim funeral and burial is on Friday, October 27th between Maghrib and Isha. Guest speakers will be answering all your questions about funeral services. Excuse me. OCIF's open house, the open house for the masajid, we have it annually. We're trying to make it national. The open house is coming on Sunday, October 29th. It is a chance for you to invite your non-Muslim friends, neighbors, and colleagues to visit the mosque. We are also looking for volunteers. Please sign up at the office. OCIF and Pillars Academy are holding a Halloween night for children on Tuesday, October 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us guidance. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our hearts firm on La ilaha illallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us how to love Him We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us how to be merciful and put mercy in our hearts. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase our relationship and strengthen our relationship with Him. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات والأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات يا رب العالمين. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا، وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا، وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا، واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير، واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر، وأقم الصلاة.